Hi there, my name's Ty Rothermel, and last Wednesday I had the opportunity to see Wonder Woman early. And going into this film, I am not the biggest fan of the DC Extended Universe. I've been pretty mixed on it. I love Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman. I like most of it, but there's so much that it's hard for me to defend it as passionately as so many others do. And then Suicide Squad is my most disappointing film of all time. It really let me down because I was so excited. I was like, this is the one. This is the one that's going to turn everyone around. But then it was just a huge mess. So I didn't have a lot of confidence going into Wonder Woman, and all the trailers after the first one looked very similar. They all hit the same beats, and I was just kind of like, what are they hiding here? It felt very much like Fantastic Four from 2015. All those trailers were very similar in the same way that these ones were, and I thought they were hiding something from us. But I was partly right, because I thought they were hiding something bad, but in this case they were just hiding so much good. The third act action set piece is not spoiled in the trailer whatsoever. You maybe see 5% of it in the trailers, but honestly that's nothing. You see so much of this for the first time when you're watching the movie, and that's something really special that we don't get with many of these comic book tentpole films anymore. Like, how many times do we see the big, oh my god moment that we should have that in the movie, but we've seen Hulk catch Iron Man in the Avengers trailers like 5 times. That means nothing to us at this point. But here, all of those bits, seeing them for the first time on the big screen was something really cool. A big worry, and something that I've been asked a lot about since seeing the movie, is Gal Gadot's acting. People ask me, oh, was she better in this compared to Batman vs. Superman? And I can honestly say she is. She is significantly improved. And Patty Jenkins, the director, did a really smart thing by surrounding Gal Gadot with a great supporting cast, like with Chris Pine, Danny Houston, Robin Wright, and Connie Nielsen. She bounces so well off of them, and they bounce well off of her, and bring out the best in Gal Gadot. And yes, some of Gal Gadot's lines are pretty wooden still, but her physicality and her facial acting is like none other. She's really terrific in this role in that way, and honestly I can't imagine anyone else pulling it off the way she does. She is Wonder Woman now, and it's going to be a long time before I'm willing to accept anyone else in this role. Another piece of credit that Patty Jenkins deserves is, man, she can get a frame. Every shot in this movie is gorgeous. Everything from the lighting to the framing, all of it. It's so beautiful and breathtaking. The vibrant colors, and then it's dreary when it needs to be. Like the World War II or World War I set London, you see that and it's dreary, it's dark, because that encapsulates that time period and it really works. But then there are moments where it's pretty bright, it's vibrant, like everything on Themyscira. And that was a really nice change from the previous DC Extended Universe movies, where like Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel, they're all really dark and dreary all the time. And the way this film looks is very hopeful, which is something that the DC Extended Universe has been trying to hammer home, but I feel like so far they've been saying, oh, we're hopeful, the Superman's hope, you mean hope, blah blah blah, hope, hope, hope. And people just keep saying it, but in this, people just do hopeful things. Like Wonder Woman's actions in Steve Trevor's, it's show, not tell. And they do an absolutely perfect job with that in this movie. A lot of the problems I've been reading that people have been having is that the movie has some pacing issues and the third act maybe isn't as great, but I would disagree. I really didn't have any issues. I was perfectly content, perfectly entertained throughout the entire film. I was never like checking my watch. I was like, wow, is this still happening right now, this scene? That never happened once. I was thoroughly entertained the entire time. And another thing that I was really concerned about going into this movie was the humor. In the trailers, every joke, I was like groaning. I was going, oh my god, why? That's not funny at all. But then in the context of the movie and the little bit of setup that maybe a joke has, and then the context of what's happening in that scene, it makes it a funny moment. It's just in the trailers, you're just getting the punchline, and the punchline isn't enough to make it funny. You need the build-up and the context to make it work. So if you had problems with the humor in the trailers, don't worry, because in the movie it actually works, and it works quite well. Another nice thing about this movie is that it feels distinctly different from a Marvel movie or even a DC property. It feels like DC is really coming into their own, which is a really pleasant surprise and I'm quite happy about. In the way of negatives, I don't really have any. It's more just nitpicks. For one, the Wonder Woman theme that Hans Zimmer composed that we hear in Batman vs. Superman, like, and I'm like, it doesn't really fit in this movie, and I don't really feel like it fits the character as much as they want it to, and they were really forcing that down our throats in the trailers, and at a point they stopped, and I'm so glad they did, because it was so off-putting to me. I was like, ugh, stop it, it's not working, guys. But in this movie, thankfully it's only used once, but even then I was like, just give her, this is a good opportunity to give her a new theme. Another issue I had, and this is again just a nitpick, was the amount of slow motion used. Slow motion is good to emphasize how cool a shot is, but when you start using it for every cool shot or almost cool shot, or that's kind of neat, at a point I just go, can I just see it in real time, please? Like, you're not impressing me with this. Like, the amount of times that we see her swiping a leg with a sword in slow motion, I got pretty tired of that. Other than that, though, I have no other real complaints, which really surprised me. Again, that's a big theme with this movie for me, is that it's just surprising how much I liked it. As for where this puts me looking forward to the DC Extended Universe, it has me much more optimistic for James Wan's Aquaman, as he is not as tied down like Zack Snyder maybe was, or David Ayer may have been. Maybe they're going to let James Wan have that free reign, especially in the editing room, the way that they did with Patty Jenkins here, because this film doesn't directly connect to anything. It does, but it's not like there's nothing where it's like, oh, this is setting up that plot point for Justice League. It doesn't do that in this movie, and I hope they let James Wan have that kind of freedom, where they're not like, oh yeah, have Flash have a cameo so we can set up Flashpoint. Just up until last week, I was dead set on, I am not seeing Justice League in theaters unless it reaches a certain Rotten Tomatoes score, because I've been burned by these DCEU films enough. I don't want to give them my money if I'm going to complain as much as I do. But now I'm quite hopeful, and I really just want to see Gal Gadot again. I am so excited moving forward for the DCEU, more than I was just a week ago. Overall, again, I really do love Wonder Woman. I think this is the best DCEU film by far. I give Wonder Woman a 9.5 out of 10. And that, in the DCEU ranking of the 4 films we have so far, is Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, BVS, and Suicide Squad. Other than that, though, guys, I have nothing else for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help me out, and hopefully I can start doing more reviews on here like this if you guys respond well to them. And also, if you want to check me out on social media and keep up to date with everything I'm doing, you can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at NerdyCasual, and then you can check me out writing news and opinion articles at geeksgamers.com, where I do a lot of great stuff over there, or at least the feedback I've gotten says, hey, you're doing all right, kid. So check that out and let me know what you think. And once again, thank you so much for watching.